is this blacks wanting to hold on to whites. Because I listened to Tariq and you kept saying something that I was in agreement with. You said, hey, why don't we just let blacks have black stuff? We have our stuff. We'll even separate it somewhere. And he kept saying, we've already tried that. We've already tried that. That didn't work. You just bomb us. You just bomb us. And you were like, okay, that happened then. This is a new day. We're renegotiating this thing. And he just kept wanting to go back to that. Now, to give you something about Tariq, his wife is a mixed Jew. She's a black woman mixed with Jewish. You see pictures of him with his mother-in-law, who's a white woman. He lives in a completely white neighborhood, brags about living in a completely white neighborhood. He talks trash to any black person who does not have the riches that he has. So while he gets on television saying whites won't allow blacks to become rich, he makes fun of blacks who aren't as rich as him. That's why I said I think he's a troll, because it doesn't make sense that this man can be pro-black and he goes home to a white Jewish mother-in-law. None of it makes sense. And I'm listening to him argue with you about how whites are so bad and have done things wrong to blacks. Yet when it came to the idea of you saying, you're right, let's separate, he wouldn't do it. What is contributing to that mentality of, you guys are bad, but we want to stay with you?
You know, what that reminds me of is Louis Farrakhan. The Nation of Islam, in their periodical, their newspaper, it's called The Final Call, I believe. In the inside back page of every issue, if they're still publishing it that way, it lists the demands of the Nation of Islam. And one of the demands is separation. They say, how can the...
But racism is not.
No, tribalism is natural. Racism is a specific form of tribalism, which is related to race. And race is a social construct. So, no. Racism is in a society in which race exists, racism is going to exist as well, almost as a natural follow-through to that concept. But race does not need to exist and has not existed in the same way for a very long time.
Okay, how are you going to go about getting rid of race?
Oh, it'd be a super long process. But we've been making progress over the past century. Today, less people care about race as like this super weird, like genetic thing than they did 100 years ago. So with time, it seems like people will care about race less and less. More people will immigrate into countries that have ethnically homogenous populations. Will have to engage with one another on a more intrapersonal level. Hopefully redlining will stop so black people can explode out into the countryside rather than being concentrated in the ghettos.
If people want to be ethnically homogenous, why do you have a problem with that? Even if you don't agree with them. Why do you have to stop?
No, I'm not stopping anyone. What I want is for people to be able to move freely wherever they want. So if a bunch of white people really, really, really want to just live around white people, they can go like buy out a county or something, and they can go live there together. However, if somebody, say a black person, wants to move, and other people, hold on. But if a black or a brown person wants to move there, they have every civic right to do so. And if those people get mad, they just have to recognize that society is not their playground. They do not get to say, nope, the sandbox is only for me.
So you don't believe in freedom of association?
Sure I do. For everyone.
Okay. Well, freedom of association doesn't mean you get to force your own association on other people.
No, that's not how it works. You're engaging in very selective freedom of association here. You're saying white people should be able to, or people of whatever race, I assume you would make the argument for black people too, but for the example, that white people should be able to form little enclaves where they don't let anyone else in, but them not letting anyone else in is prohibitive towards the freedom that I would assign to all people. So, no, again, the world isn't your sandbox. You can't just say, oh, this is for the white. Oh,
can we at least have a town that's our sandbox?
No, why would I like there to be a city of
what about a house?
Ethnicity.
What about a house? Does anybody get to come into your house?
Of course not. Don't be ridiculous.
Okay, so why can't we extend that?
No. You realize you're making unironically an incredibly stupid argument. There's a huge difference between the autonomy of a house that you privately own and the civic ordinance of a city, which has open properties that anyone is free to move to. You realize that in one of those, you have a legal right to determine who moves into your property. You do not have a legal or ethical right to decide who moves into your city.
If I buy up a whole city, do I have the right then?
I would argue that nobody should have the power to buy up a whole city, but if you could do that,
then all my white friends pool our money together and collectively own a city.
Well, you would probably found, since that would make you landowners at that point, you would probably found of discriminatory housing practices.
Okay, I'm not making a legal argument. I'm asking you morally.
Morally, I think that you should be shot, and people like you should be shot. But if I'm trying to work within the confines of society, I think that, yeah, legally you would break a whole bunch of rules doing so. No, I don't like the idea of white people with power and privilege trying to cordon off a little segment of society for themselves.
Why? Why not?
Because I don't
Just
because it leads to people like you, to subhuman mongrels like you who think the color of a person's skin is the only thing that matters about them. I don't care if you're civil. Listen, I am not a civil person, but what I am not is a bigot. You and your ideology are destructive. You're ruinous. You ruin worlds.
Oh, come on, man.
No. I know you're offended. I know it hurts. You know, oh, you're so nice. Oh, you're so kind when you do little Jewish dog whistles and you talk about the superiority of white people. Buddy, I don't care. I really don't. It doesn't matter how nice you are. I wouldn't care if you're an old grandma. Your ideology is toxic. And I think that obliterating it requires the destruction of enclaves where people like you can fester. Absolutely. Yeah, I'd make that judgment any day. You're an existential threat to society. And it's fun talking with you because your ideology leads to... Listen, so let's go over your views, okay? You falsely believe that... So are you a Jewish questioner? Because earlier you made a pretty weird statement about white business owners.
Do you really want to go down that rabbit hole?
Just answer, are you some... No, buddy, this is a yes-no. Quit being a coward. I always answer forthcomingly with my views. Jewish question. Do Jews control the world, directly or indirectly?
They don't control the world. They are influential.
So yeah, you believe in some level of the JQ. So you believe in the JQ, you believe in debunked genetic racial science. The things you believe in have led to wars, apartheid, genocide, deportation, and murder.
No. That's not an argument.
Nope.
That's a terrible argument.
No, it's actually a pretty cogent argument because your values are incompatible with a just world. You believe in segregation and hierarchy, not as a means to an end, but as an ends themselves. That you can't say the same.
What is the huge threat of like a couple of white guys having their own town somewhere? Why is
I have already answered that. It's not a matter of triggering. I just think you people are disgusting. No, there's no moral or legal excuse by which you people should be able to cordon yourself off into a little ethno neighborhood.
Why not? Why
are you so mad? So wait, let's turn the question around because I've already answered because it breeds bad mentalities. I've answered. I don't know why you don't accept the answer, but let's turn around. Why should you be able to? Why should you be able to say, hey, black people can't move into this property?
Because I should have the freedom to associate with whoever I want to.
Sure, and so should they. And if they want to move to that town and they want to associate with you people, then that's fine. That's their right.
What if none of us want to associate with them?
Yeah, sure. Tough shit. Sorry.
So then,
there's a moral difference between black people wanting to live where they feel most comfortable and you wanting to live in a place where you can keep black people out. I'm sorry, they're not morally equitable.
Black people should be able to have their own communities too.
Mm-mm. Nope, they should be able to form communities wherever they want, including where you little white boys have sat your asses down. Sorry. I know that triggers you. Your way of life is never coming back. The shit you want, the world you want, it's dying, buddy. You think that this little last gasp of white nationalism is going to make the world back to the segregated, ethnically homogenous, racially segregated society you believe it would function best in? It's done. It's over. For the past century and a half, we've been fighting against people like you, the last gasp of hierarchy.
Okay, calm down.
Well, I'm just saying, you're not getting it. You're going to die in a society more integrated than the one in which we currently live today. And it'll take immense satisfaction seeing you people die off and you fail.
You still haven't explained what the big deal is for white people to have their own little town somewhere.
I expressly explained this.
Anybody. How does that hurt anybody?
Because it procures. For one, I think that segregation as a concept, just on its own, even with no outcomes, is a moral wrong. Segregation, oppression, and hierarchy, I'm an anarchist, you see. These concepts are fundamentally morally wrong to me. Like, on their own. Even if there were literally no bad outcomes to you all living together, I would still hate it because I'm fundamentally opposed to that way of living. But if we have to talk about outcomes, people like you, people who believe in the JQ, people who believe in debunked genetic racial science, people who believe in protecting Mug culture, people who want to establish ethnostates, you people are ethically and conceptually antithetical to...
Why? You keep saying...
Because I'm an egalitarian. You're an anti-egalitarian, and your congregations would bring about people with anti-egalitarian values. Not just mildly anti-egalitarian either. Not like, women are like kind of worse at some things. You're like a full-on fucking white supremacist. You're a white nationalist. You realize that you people, and I don't know whether you're acting in bad faith or if you're lying or whatever, but you do realize that you're dangerous to the way of life that I want to live, right? Okay, so hold on, because I can answer. Wait, maybe we can find agreement here. Okay.
All right.
So here's what I want, okay? I want the world to continue growing more integrated and for people like you to have less and less power, okay? I want for society to grow less insular, for the world to grow more global. I don't have much power, buddy. For borders, well, no, people like you. We just got off a James Also video with 3 million views. Clearly, there's some degree of social weight. But
yeah, you're triggered that he's more popular than you.
I'm triggered that that whole video is him getting triggered, dude. I don't think you can use that word unironically. But no, it's not surprising to me that a Nazi would be more popular than me. YouTube has quite a large right-wing following. Whatever the case is, the world I want is getting increasingly less segregated. It's getting more open, more free. People are caring less about hierarchical concepts like gender and race.
Whoa,